Won hearts through excellence in marriage, music, and mentorship. Catch Wahoo and Nameless on Easy Friday at 9:45 p.m. with Shiksha Arora only on KBC Channel 1.
In February 2021, confirmed cases of polio virus were reported in Garissa and Mombasa counties because of outbreaks from neighboring countries. From Saturday 17th to Wednesday 21st July 2021, the Ministry of Health and its partners will conduct a house-to-house polio vaccination campaign in 13 counties that are most at risk. Vaccination teams will adhere to the COVID-19 safety measures such as wearing a face mask, hand hygiene, and physical distance. To minimize physical contact, mothers will assist to open the child's mouth for vaccine administration. The polio vaccine and all other vaccines have been tested and are safe and effective. Vaccinations protect your children. Get your child vaccinated now. This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health, UNICEF, and World Health Organization.
Virusi vya korona huenea unapokaribiana na mtu aliyeambukizwa kupitia matone, haswa wakati anapokohoa au kupiga chafya, na pia kwa kugusa sehemu au vifaa vilivyo na virusi hivi. Ukihisi dalili kama vile kupandwa na joto, kikohozi, maumivu mwilini na ugumu wa kupumua, na unashuku ulikaribiana na mwadhiriwa, jitenge kisha piga nambari 719 ili upate usaidizi. Mtu yeyote anaishi na maradhi sugu kama vile virusi vya HIV, kifua kikuu, saratani na mengineo anashauriwa kutumia dawa zake jinsi alivyoshauriwa na daktari bila kukosa. Komesha korona. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na serikali ya Kenya.
Tonight, good news coming from the Lakeside region. COVID-19 levels have started to decline after weeks of heightened anxiety. We'll have all the details right here on Easy Friday. My name is Indimuli.
More good news coming your way. Nameless and Wahoo will be on Spotlight later on, so all Nameless and Wahoo fans, well, guess what? This is where you need to be. Remember, the hashtag is Easy Friday at KBC Channel 1. For now, it's time for the highlights. My name is Shiksha Arora.
Is it a case of live by the gun, die by the gun? Questions emerge after fugitive police Caroline Kangogo is found dead.
Lazima tufuate haki yetu mpaka kotini, sio? Ndio hizo kura zote zirudiwe.
It ain't over until the fat lady sings. Defeated Jubilee's candidate in KIAMBAA by-election, Karin Jama, threatens court action.
Sio lazima ubadilishe katiba ndio kuwe na uchaguzi wa amani. Hapana. Ni ule ambaye ameshindwa akubali ya kwamba ameshindwa. Basi maneno yanakuwa sawa sawa.
And buoyed by UDA KIAMBAA win, Deputy President William RUTO terms BBI not a priority. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Lucy Maura. Remember, hashtag Easy Friday. You can also reach us on our Twitter handles at Indimuli, at Shiksha Arora _ and at KBC Channel 1.
All right, taking a look at the top story of the day, where hours after police confirmed fugitive police officer Caroline Kangogo dead, questions emerge how she managed to escape police dragnet for close to 2 weeks, only to allegedly execute herself at her parents' home.
Now, family members say her death, which police attribute to a self-inflicted gunshot wound, caught them unawares.
Is it a case of live by the gun, I beg your pardon, or die by the gun? Take a look.
Detectives have been searching for Kangogo in connection with the murder of a police officer in Nakuru and a former policeman in Juja. Detectives stated that the Nakuru-based police officer allegedly shot dead her colleague Constable John Ogweno on Monday, July 5th and fled to Juja, where she allegedly killed Peter Ndwega in a hotel room. Friday morning, Kangogo was found dead at her parents' home in Anin, Elgeyo Marakwet. Elgeyo Marakwet County Commander Patrick Lumumba said Kangogo died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
Nilipata ripoti kwamba marehemu alipatikana akiwa ameaga katika bathroom. Mama yake mzazi alikuwa anaenda kuosha bathroom, akapata mwili akawa amepiga risasi.
According to the family, her death came as a shock to them as they had earlier pleaded with her through media outlets to surrender to authorities.
Tupata kwa mshangao. Tumestuka kama familia kwa sababu tulikuwa tumesema juzi aserende ili tujue kiini cha yale maneno aliyowafanya. So tumestuka sana kuona amekuja mpaka nyumbani kumpata pale kwa pafu kama amejua.
There are claims that the late Kangogo was spotted at Iten town and is said to have left for her parents' place where she was found dead early Friday.
Katika hii boma ambayo amepatikana amejihua ambao ni kwao na wazazi wako na nyumba ni kama 40 meters. Hawakusikia mlio wa risasi. Kidogo hapo siwezi kujibu.
This development comes even as her death elicited mixed reaction, with Kenyans expressing varied views over her demise on various social media platforms. And back to the two murder incidents linked to Kangogo, initial reports indicated that the fugitive cop had spent hours drinking with the two men before they were found dead 2 days apart, one in Nakuru and the other in KIAMBAA. The investigators' job were delayed by the fact that the officer had dumped her unknown cell phone. Investigations are ongoing to establish what transpired. Kangogo worked in the crime office at Nakuru Central Police Station and had been assigned to the law courts in 2019. Details from Kangogo's file described her as an experienced, well-trained crime buster in the police service. Her body was moved to the scene to Iten County Referral Hospital mortuary. Reporting for Easy Friday, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
To politics now, and Karirin Jama of Jubilee Party has threatened to go to court to force a recount of ballot papers for the KIAMBAA by-election, citing irregularities.
Jama claims he has tangible evidence that the UDA party employed dirty tricks to clinch the seat in the Thursday poll.
He lamented as the United Democratic Alliance party took to celebrations after its flag bearer, John Wanjiku Njuguna, emerged the winner in the hotly contested race with a margin of 510 votes.
Here's that story.
Njuguna Wanjiku is the KIAMBAA Member of Parliament elect after defeating his main challenger Karirin Jama in a very tight contest. Wanjiku was declared winner after almost 15 hours of vote counting, which commenced Thursday at 7 o'clock, only ending on Friday at 9:30 a.m. Njuguna managed 21,773 votes against Karirin Jama, who had 21,263 votes. While giving his acceptance speech, the MP-elect pledged to deliver on his campaign promises, especially to the youth.
I also want to thank, my competitors, even for conceding, and I want to welcome them to this winning, because it's not about me, it is about KIAMBAA people. We join hands together. They are worth competitors. We join hands together and build KIAMBAA together, and also thank KIAMBAA people for conducting themselves in a peaceful manner.
Jubilee's Karirin Jama, however, has declined to concede defeat, vowing to challenge the results in court.
There was no fairness in the exercise, and we are stopping at nothing to ensure that we have a repeat of the counting of the ballot that were casted yesterday.
Elsewhere in Mogoga Ward, Joseph Mongara of Jubilee Party won the closely contested by-election after garnering 4,089 votes against UDA's Peter Dhombe, who garnered 4,062 votes. That way Alliance candidate Moses Gishau came a distant third with only 49 votes, with People's Party of Kenya Peter Njoroge coming in fourth with 32 votes. Welcoming the victory, the new MCA-elect said he was ready to serve the people of Mogoga.
And for the fellow contestants, we were together during our 40 exercise, I would also like to congratulate them for the work they've done, and I know there is also another chance, so come 2022, there will still be an opportunity to come and look for the votes again.
Kevin Washira, Easy Friday.
Staying with news from the just concluded by-election, Deputy President William RUTO now says the KIAMBAA mini poll is enough testament that Kenya does not need to change its constitution to conduct peaceful elections. RUTO argues that the country is at a maturing stage and that instabilities occasioned during elections were a thing of the past. The Deputy President was speaking in Mathioya just hours after the United Democratic Alliance narrowly pipped Jubilee for the KIAMBAA parliamentary seat.
After pulling another first one on his political nemesis within the ruling party, Deputy President William RUTO has reiterated calls for Kenyans to build on the current positives.
Wale watu wanasumbuanga sisi wakati baada ya uchaguzi, wanaenda kufanya maneno, wanaleta fujo mpaka wanafanya swearing in. Sasa wamepata masomo hapo Muguga na KIAMBAA. Hiyo ndio maneno inatakana iwe inafanyika. Kenya itaendelea mbele, hakuna haja ya kusumbua katiba.
RUTO, whose political allies relentlessly campaigned for UDA in KIAMBAA, said there is no need to amend the constitution just to cure electoral violence.
Sasa watu wa KIAMBAA na Muguga wametuonyesha ya kwamba inawezekana ifanyike uchaguzi, iishe, hakuna fujo na watu waende kazini. Kwa sababu moja tu, sio lazima ubadilishe katiba ndio kuwe na uchaguzi wa amani. Hapana, ni ule ambaye ameshindwa akubali ya kwamba ameshindwa. Bas maneno inakuwa sawa sawa.
The Deputy President is looking to make further inroads into Mount Kenya region. The leaders were speaking in Mathioya, Murang'a County, during the burial of Eliud Buku Munyori, the father of Munyori Buku, who works in the office of the Deputy President. Beatrice Getonyangetich, Easy Friday.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has condemned the killing of Kenyan environmental activist Joanna Stachbury and ordered security agencies to track down those responsible for this heinous act. Stachbury, famous for her relentless efforts to conserve Kiambu Forest, was shot dead by unknown people on Thursday afternoon at her home.
In his message of condolence to the family and friends of slain environmentalist Joanna Stachbury, President Kenyatta said his office greatly appreciates her contribution in environmental conservation. The head of state promised the government action to bring Stachbury's killers to book, terming them cowardly enemies of the Kenyan nation. The head of state said his administration will not allow evil individuals to harm people striving to make the country a better place. Stachbury, renowned for her relentless efforts to conserve the Kiambu forest, was shot dead by unknown people on Thursday afternoon at her home. Kenya Forest Service, in a press statement, said efforts by the late activist will not go in vain by ensuring it continues to conserve and protect Kiambu Forest for the benefit of the country. The Forest Service also described her as selfless in the fight for the environment. Reporting for Easy Friday, my name is Yusuf Hilo.
To some health matters now, some light at the end of the tunnel as Nyanza region, which is part of the COVID-19 hotspots, registers a decline in infections. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe attributes this to adherence to COVID-19 containment measures recently instituted in this area.
The containment measures instituted to curb rising numbers of COVID-19 cases in parts of the country seem to be yielding positive results, with Cabinet Secretary for Health Mutahi Kagwe now saying Nyanza has recorded a decline in COVID numbers. Mutahi, who spoke during a tour of the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital with a visiting Italian delegation, also said the government will prioritize mental health in the country, noting it has significant social and economic implications on the productivity of a population.
1 million people people commit suicide annually across the globe. Here in Kenya also the suicide rate has increased substantially, particularly during this COVID period. And we have to face it now as a nation, as a country. We have to face this fact that we are having people who are unwell mentally, depression, drug abuse, and so on. And we have to raise the standards with which we care for these people.
He said the ministry welcomes a collaboration between Kenya and Italy to improve the country's healthcare systems.
In the area of oncology, the GSD group is very superior in the work that they have been doing in Italy. And we also want to cooperate with them in the area of skilling up on training and skilling up on oncology training and specialized care within our hospitals.
You see a leadership of a country, of a government, fighting to get better health care for his own people. So you appreciate that. And really, you want to support that. Our aim is to support the government to assist to have a better healthcare system.
This is the country recorded a national COVID-19 rate of 10.1% Friday, with 692 people having tested positive from a sample size of 6,883 people tested in the last 24 hours. From the cases, 668 are Kenyans, while 24 are foreigners. 371 are male, while 321 are female. The youngest is a 1-year-old and the oldest is 95 years. Total confirmed cases are now at 191,712, with cumulative tests done so far standing at 2,043,355. Caroline Kamau reporting for Easy Friday.
In other news, Maurice Amutabi has pledged to mount a strong campaign against hate speech if appointed as the Commissioner of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Now, appearing before the IEBC selection panel, Amutabi termed incitement by politicians as the biggest contributor of electoral violence in the country. Meanwhile, Ambassadors Koki Muli and Lucy Jebet Chelibo vowed to use their diplomatic experience to advance the success of the electoral body if appointed. The interviews continue next week and are expected to end on 22nd of July 2021.
First to appear before the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission selection panel on the 8th day of the ongoing interviews was Ambassador Koki Muli. Koki, an advocate of the High Court, who once served as the permanent representative in the Kenyan mission to the United Nations, was hard-pressed to convince the panel about her knowledge of the Kenyan electoral process.
So if you are a commissioner and you see a fleet of GK vehicles a few days to the election and the president is campaigning, does the commission have any powers to deal with that?
A lot of times what certain organizations can do is to point out some of the things that are not being done in accordance with the law.
If you look at section 107, the commission has expressed powers to impound state resources that are being used in campaigns.
The second candidate to be interviewed was Ambassador Lucy Jebet Chelimo, who was Kenya's High Commissioner to Harare, Zimbabwe. Ambassador Chelimo stressed the need to address the logistical challenges that hinder many Kenyans abroad from taking part in general elections.
We see that IEBC is not fully funded, or not fully, but is not adequately funded. I will be able to be added value in areas of resource mobilization.
Jebet also vowed to mobilize resources for the commission if appointed.
The challenge they will face voting at the embassy, more or less, is the embassy will be in the capital center of that country, and perhaps as a diaspora you're located far from the embassy and you're required to come. Sometimes they feel that perhaps we should have taken the voting to where they are.
Also seeking to fill one of the 4 vacant positions at the commission is Professor Maurice Amutabi, who pledged to prioritize awareness against hate speech, which he termed as one of the main contributing factors to electoral violence.
Education can be provided, especially education to our leaders, political education, in terms of making the leaders aware that the words they say, the pronunciations, the things they pronounce on certain issues and so on are sensitive, and they should guard their tongue and what they say. This can be done through consultative processes, through stakeholder education.
The historian recommended the establishment of an internal media department to help the Commission have an official channel of communication.
Every electoral body that I have monitored in the world have their own TV and radio station. What do? They counter manipulation. IBC can establish a radio and a TV station that it becomes official issuance of electoral results.
17 candidates have been interviewed so far, with one candidate having withdrawn his candidature over questionable academic credentials. For Easy Friday, I'm Safin Aching Oma.
Yes, you're indeed watching Easy Friday right here on KBC Channel 1. Time now for our first break. But before that, let's sample some of your feedback. And we have Alex Mauti who says, Kutoka Suguta Health Center, Nikondani.
All right, another one from Nancy Wanjama Sharia who says, from County 005, that's Lamu, I'm in as usual.
Kian Kiptanui says, I'm watching from Marakwet.
Kimani Gashuki says he is live from Githurai. Thank you so much for keeping us company right here on hashtag Easy Friday. Remember, that's the hashtag that you should be using to interact with us on @Shiksha_Arora_.
At Indimuli.
All right, for now it's time for that short commercial break. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Lazima wanawake wapewe nafasi ya kujenga nchi kama vile wanaume. Njia za kuwaelimisha wasichana na kuwapa nafasi wale walioelimika wapewe madaraka fulani ndani ya serikali na pia katika sehemu zingine za uchumi wa nchi yetu. Hali kadhalika, ikiwa tutaweza kufaulu katika mambo haya, inahitaji wale wanawake wenyewe wa nchi yetu wawe na moyo wa kupenda maendeleo na wao wenyewe watayarishe mipango kamili ya kuweza kuinua maisha ya wanawake wenzao.
My name is Mohamud Ahmed Mohamud, the CEO of Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, popularly known as KDIC. KDIC encourages the depositors to continue doing business with licensed and regulated commercial banks and microfinance institutions. As part of the corporation's public awareness campaign, KDIC, in conjunction with its membership, the banks and the microfinance institution, recently developed KDIC stickers to be displayed in all the banking halls. Be sure to look out for KDIC stickers whenever you visit your bank.
KDIC, protecting your deposits.
This is where it all began. As the mother of broadcasting in Kenya, you can trust KBC to bring you authentic news and programs to your living room. As KBC, we take pride in our unrivaled heritage as Kenya's trusted national broadcaster. Commanding over 92% digital television signal coverage of our country, 23 radio services that cut across our entire language spectrum, a national, regional and international digital presence backed by the most experienced and top-notch broadcast professionals in the industry.
A very good evening to you.
The new look Kenya Broadcasting Corporation is truly ahead of the pack. Turn to the mother of broadcasting in Kenya for stories that resonate with our identity, our aspirations as a people united in purpose. Real stories of hard work, of passion, of creativity, of big dreams. Stories that cement our nationhood. Stories that bring us together as one. We take pride in our shared heritage and destiny. KBC, informing, educating and entertaining Kenyans as one nation. KBC, Kenya's listening, Kenya's watching.
Welcome back. You're still watching Easy Friday, and remember, later on this show, Wahoo and Nameless. Do stand by for that.
All right, taking you to the next story, where the judiciary is seeking to use the Huduma centers to take services closer to Kenyans.
Now, in a collaboration between the court and the Ministry of ICT, Kenyans will be able to file cases at the centers without necessarily having to travel to courts, in a move the Chief Justice Martha Koome says will help in expediting the administration of justice.
Take a look.
The judiciary will now have a desk at the Huduma counters in collaborative efforts to have a filing system adopted by citizens through a collaboration with the Ministry of ICT.
The Ministry of ICT has offered to help us establish a desk at Huduma Center as the judiciary for citizens to do their filing at Huduma centers.
As the Star Chief Justice Martha Koome says, the system will be pioneered in Mombasa and Kisumu.
I'm happy to report that we have successfully embraced e-filing within Nairobi and its environs. We are moving to Mombasa and Kisumu very soon.
Stakeholders in the justice system pledging to support the judiciary's infrastructure requirements in an effort to ensure social transformation through access to justice.
Let us not become complacent. Let us not become like the spoiled son or daughter who gets provided for by parents or by those who will support them, and they lose sight of the big picture, which is to render justice to our people.
We are committed to fighting corruption here in Kenya, and we take note that it can be a threat to our very existence and the national security of our country.
The judiciary also received 444 laptops and 166 printers from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, as well as European Union, in aid of witness protection, virtual hearings, and measures to decongest the country's correctional facilities.
PLEAD supports the progress towards Goal 16 of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development by contributing to building effective, accountable and inclusive justice institutions.
This even as they commemorated the Nelson Mandela Day that is to be marked on the 18th of July. For Easy Friday, I'm Serafina Robbie.
Did you know that African countries will have an opportunity to review and grow their parliamentary democracies in a meeting that kicks off in Nairobi on Friday? Now, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, says the 80th Executive Commonwealth Conference is an opportunity for Kenya to showcase its parliamentary ideals and share gains and challenges of parliamentary practice with visiting delegates.
And the culture of parliamentary elections and parliamentary practice and democratic governance for longer periods or varying periods than others. And therefore, when these countries meet together, there's a lot that helps in grow the democratic cultures of various countries. For us here in Africa region, the association brings together 18 national legislatures and 63 subnational legislatures. And indeed, Africa is one of the 9 regions globally within the family of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association.
From the counties now, leaders from Wajir County have condemned the return of inter-clan conflicts along the common border of Isiolo and Wajir counties, which has left one more person dead. The leaders, led by Wajir Governor Ahmed Mutar, called for immediate inter-clan meeting to negotiate a solution to the conflict and an end to escalating tensions in that region.
Speaking during this year's Harbour's Wayne Education Day, the leaders decried the perennial conflict between two neighboring communities in Wajir West and Isiolo.
Na waomba wa ndugu zangu kutoka Isiolo, tafadhalini tukutane kama sisi watu Wajir na watu Isiolo, tujaribu tusuluhishe hiyo maneno.
Elsewhere, Dedan Kimathi University of Science and Technology in Nyeri has been closed indefinitely after students went on a rampage protesting a move by the administration to increase school fees. The students took to the streets to express their displeasure, accusing the university of revising the fees without proper consultations.
We are demanding, we are not requesting them. Walidu school fees au wafunge university. Imagine a student in first year, semester moja, a government sponsored student analipa about 60,000. Hiyo ni kitu haifai.
Meanwhile, a section of Kaya elders has conducted a ritual cleansing of a black spot located in Kizingo area along Malindi-Mombasa Highway. The elders say many people have lost their lives in the area, with the latest being an accident which killed at least 15 people in April this year.
Kwa hivyo hili ni tambiko la kuweza kuondoa ule ubaya wote wa kifo ambacho si cha kawaida.
And 22 Eritreans have been charged in a Maralal court with being in Kenya illegally. The foreigners are set to be transferred to Nairobi for processing before being handed over to the United Nations Human Rights Commission. Finally, Navakolo MP Emmanuel Wangwe has urged the president to direct the completion of stalled projects in the western region.
Kwa hivyo we have to ask the president asaidie pande hii. The only solution ya huku ni miwa, na factory ambayo itaweza ni factory ya Mumias Sugar. Pia tuombe watu wetu wa Butali, tunapenda factory yao, tunapenda factory ya West Kenya, lakini wakuje wakate miwa yetu, wawache kukoma huko tu, na wakikuja huku wanavuna steki moja wanapotea. Hapana, wakuje wavune miwa wapeleke kwa factory ili tuende mbele.
The leaders called for transparency in the turnaround of the Mumias Sugar Company and Kenyan sugar sector. Reporting for Easy Friday, Amombo Yotiende.
Now focus on today's business news. My name is Caroline Jenga. Now, Kenya Power embarked on a grid automation exercise that is expected to lower power bills by more than 10% once completed. The 12-month exercise links meters to specific transformers and digitize low voltage lines in a bid to streamline its data management systems. Kenya Power further says the exercise is also expected to stabilize power distribution.
According to Kenya Power financial report for the year 2020, system losses amounted to 16 billion shillings, or 23% of its total revenues in the period. The 23% system losses are well above the 15% target set by the utility firm. The government has been hammering the power distributor to digitize its systems in an attempt to lower system losses.
The business will embark on the transformer metering project, which will enable the business to accurately compare power fed into a distribution transformer against power billed, so as to pinpoint the exact transformers requiring urgent intervention in the war on losses.
In a bid to digitize its operations, Kenya Power has partnered with the National Youth Service to hasten its digital services, clean up data and streamline operations. The company says it has automated 70% of its operations, and the NYS personnel will help complete the remaining automation phase. Under the partnership, the NYS will digitize 167 kilometers of low voltage lines and 8 million customers metering system. At the same time, Kenya Power has refuted claims that the transformers marked for auction by the Kenya Revenue Authority due to tax arrears did not belong to the firm but to contractors who won the tenders to supply the equipment.
Those transformers were not Kenya Power's, but we were the consignees of those transformers. What usually happens when we do procure items like transformers, it's through the tender, and the tenderer who wins the tender delivers them to our stores through the Incoterms we call DAP or DDP, and until they are delivered to our stores, they don't belong to us. So once they are delivered to the stores, they are inspected. That's a procurement law. as well as accepted, until they are accepted by Kenya Power. After inspection, that's now when they become ours.
The government has given the China Roads and Bridge Corporation 6 months to complete the 17 kilometers western bypass. Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia says the government has completed land acquisition along the highway that was delaying the completion of the critical artery. The project is currently 64% complete.
Construction work for the Western Bypass, which passes through Gitaru, Wangige, Denderu and Ruaka towns, started in 2019 in a bid to decongest the city of Nairobi. The bypass has a length of 15.3 kilometers and approximately 17.31 kilometers of service roads. We'll see the construction of 7 grade interchanges at Gitaru, Lower Kabate, Wangigi, Kihara, Denderu, Rumenye and Ruaka. However, the project has been beset by delays due to COVID-19 disruptions and slow land acquisition along the highway corridors. Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia has urged the constructor to accelerate the construction work to ensure the project is handed over to the government by December this year.
We've been assured that by December, this road will be opened for use. So if you are coming, say, from the side of Thika, you come through Muthaiga, you come through Red Hill, you come and join this road at Ruaka, and then you can go towards the west without having to go to the city of Nairobi.
Macharia, who spoke during the inspection of the road, says the government has invested heavily for the construction of the Nairobi Ring Road Network Master Plan that seeks to create a ring road around Nairobi County.
Western Bypass is actually one of the key ring roads which have been missing until now. If you take Nairobi City, we are doing a circular road going around the city of Nairobi to make sure that people who do not have to get into the city of Nairobi, they don't have to get into the city of Nairobi. They can go around the city and therefore avoid creating unnecessary traffic and jams within the city.
Other bypasses in the master plan include Southern Bypass, Northern Bypass and the Eastern Bypass. For Easy Friday, I'm Gladys Mungai.
The government has signed a 3-year agreement with Chinese tech giant Huawei to train and equip students with digital learning technologies. Vocational and Technical Training Principal Secretary Margaret Mwakima has said the training will offer industry-level training to over 1,000 students to prepare them for the work in ICT industry, among other key areas.
Kenya is enhancing its digital skills capacity with the country, targeting to establish itself as an African IT hub. The World Bank estimates that 230 million jobs in sub-Saharan Africa will require digital skills by 2030. To enhance digital skills in vocational institutions, Kenya has partnered with Chinese telecommunications giant Huawei.
Collaborate with vocational technical training institutions to offer industry-level ICT training to 1,000 students to better prepare them in the ICT industry.
According to the agreement, Huawei will offer industry-level ICT training to prepare students for the digital industry. The program will entail training in fields of networking, cloud computing and security through Huawei Train the Trainer program alongside resource materials and certification.
Training will take place at the Huawei ICT academies that will be established in the TVET institutions, and in this way Huawei will provide the digital laboratory, resource materials and certification, while the TVET institutions will provide the physical ICT rooms.
The collaboration will further see the establishment of centers of excellence to train students on the competence-based curriculum.
The construction of a 2.4 billion shillings sugar factory in Kisii County is set to begin soon after more than 5 years of delay. The Kisii County Assembly has finally given the project ahead, paving way for the investor to move to the site. The construction of the sugar mill will be constructed by India-based Kanoria Group of Industries.
Kisii region is slowly emerging as a new sugar growing region, producing more than 266,000 tons of industrial sugarcane from the more than 3,500 hectares that are under sugarcane cultivation. However, experts say the region has the potential to produce 1 million acres with proper infrastructure and better returns. To develop the potential of the area's sugar farming, the county government of Kisii has set aside 45 acres of land in Nyangweta for the construction of a sugar factory by a group of Indian investors and a Kanoria group of industries.
The reason as to why we had been following this is that our people, the farmers of Kisii County, have really suffered a great loss due to the non-collection of non-contracted canes from the farmers of Kisii County.
The idea that was mooted 5 years ago has been frustrated by bickering among local politicians, which has frustrated the investors and the local sugar farmers.
The Kisii County Assembly has passed a policy to enable the governor and the Kisii County government at large to contract, to make an agreement, a contract between the Kisii County government and the investor who's going to put up the sugar factory in Nyangweta Forest.
Yesterday, the Kisii County Assembly passed a motion approving the factory. According to the plans, the miller will have a capacity to process at least 5,000 metric tons of cane per day once the proposed plant is established. The MCAs gave the governor the go-ahead to construct the private developer who will put up the plant, receive and process farmers' cane and pay the proceeds. Middlemen had been exploiting local farmers by buying their cane at 1,000 shillings per metric ton from 3,000 3 years ago. Martin Joki for Lunchtime.
And that is how we wrap up business news tonight. But Richard Muga is on the other end with the sports update. My name is Caroline Jenga. Have a good night.
If you have been in contact with someone who is suspected or has tested positive for COVID-19, self-quarantine for 14 days and call 7194 for help. Self-quarantine restricts movement and the spread of the disease and protects your family, friends and community from being infected. During self-quarantine, you are advised to stay in a separate room, disinfect surfaces and clothing with appropriate disinfectant, avoid sharing household items, including utensils, towels and beddings, do not receive visitors, wear an appropriate face mask if you must be around other people. COVID-19 is preventable. Protect yourself, family and the community. This message has been brought to you by the Government of Kenya and its partners.
The vulturine guinea fowl, an animal that has the head of a vulture, the colors of the most brilliant of species, and the tail of a peacock.
What I love most about the birds is their behavior, their calls, how the males attract the females. It's very fascinating. We are still studying the reason why anybody in the group can initiate movement and all the rest will follow.
This is Wildlife Warriors, and I'm Paula Kahungu.
It's your romance, your drama, and intrigue.
So this was your plan all along, eh?
I want you out of my house. Your game. Your heroes. It's your moment with your stories. Made at home for your home. 'Cause great stories start on DSTV.
The CAF Champions League comes to a close this Saturday. A glance at the contestant history reveals that this is the first time Kaizer Chiefs of South Africa have qualified for Champions League final. Meanwhile, Al Ahly of Egypt, who are the most decorated team in the CAF Champions League and current defending champions, have won this trophy 9 times.
Whipped in nicely and surely it's the opener. Yes it is. Sharif, he's looked so dangerous.
After overcoming the playoffs hurdles, Kaizer Chiefs square off with Al Ahly in the grand finale on Saturday, the 17th of July 2021 at 10 p.m. live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. Whereas there are no guarantees in football outcome, KBC has a guarantee for you. We offer you the best experience possible. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Oh, good evening. I'm Richard Munga with the day's sports, and perhaps if fit enough to start up with an update, KBC, your true sports partner, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. will be bringing you a CAF Champions League match pitting two of Africa's biggest giants, that is Al Ahly versus Kaizer Chiefs. For more updates, of course, stay tuned in to our subsequent bulletins. Now, on to a top story tonight, whereby TUSKER FC opened a 7-point lead at the top of the FKF Premier League standings after registering a 2-0 victory over AFC Leopards in a closely contested match played at the Thika Stadium today.
TUSKER FC opened the score in the 16th minute through Chris Finas Onyango. Brian Marita's free kick delivery found Chris Finas, who controlled the ball well before unleashing a close-range shot past Ezekiel Owande. At the start of the second half, TUSKER doubled their lead through Onyango with an easy tap into the back of the net. Substitute Jackson Masharia unleashed a short-range shot. Owande parried it but landed in front of Onyango, who tapped in to make it 2-0.
Indeed, TUSKER performing good this season, earning the ticket to represent Kenya in next season's CAF Champions League. So in short, you can indeed say that Ndovu Niku. Meanwhile, speedster KARAN PATEL and navigator Tosif Khan have assured that they are ready to do all that they can to maintain their dominance in whirling events. The two are Friday FETED after an exemplary performance at the WRC Safari Rally Kenya, where they finished 8th overall, winning the WRC 3 category title.
FETED after an exemplary performance at the WRC Safari Rally Kenya, where they finished 8th overall, winning the WRC Category 3 title. The duo said the performance was a major milestone in their rallying careers.
If I recall correctly, I remember saying that I would be very, very happy with a top 10 finish in the WRC, and it was my aim and my wish and my hope that we attained a top 10 finish in the World Rally Championship round.
The sentiments were echoed by AMREF CEO Stephen Gitau, who said their performance in WRC Safari was unexpected, but encouraged them to work hard for better results in other events. The two will now start preparing for their next rally competition set to take place in Tanzania next week. Daniel Mwendwa, Sports.
Meanwhile, the national beach volleyball women's team is expected to leave the country Saturday morning for Team Kenya Kurume residential training camp. The team will be making their debut at the Tokyo Olympic Games after winning a competitive Continental Cup CAM Olympic qualifiers in Agadir, Morocco last month.
The Kenyan team will be making their debut at the Tokyo Olympic Games after winning the Continental Cup CAM Olympic qualifiers in Agadir, Morocco last month. The Kenyan ladies team, comprising of Braxidi Zagala and Gaudensha Makoha, overcame a strong Nigeria pair of Amarchi Okechoko and Francis Kaikiede to bag the Olympic slot. After jetting into the country, the team has been camping in Mombasa. According to head coach Sami Mulinge, their eyes are on the prize and the team is eager to represent Kenya and the whole continent in the games. The team is currently in Nairobi conducting COVID-19 tests ahead of their departure on Saturday for the Olympic Games. Also, 2013 World 800 meters champion UNICE is excited with the
prospect of making a return to the Olympics. She gears to represent Kenya at the Tokyo Olympic Games. With the delayed games set to be held amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, some say she is eager for the challenge.
And so there's the gun in the women's 800-meter final. And as expected, Montana...
Former World 800 meters champion EUNICE admits it has been a challenge, especially training alone due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Even as she prepares to exit the stage, she is however concerned with Kenya's losing dominance of the 2-lap race, where Kenya's last gold medal in the women's race at the Games came through Pamela Jelimo in 2008.
Preparation for me for the Olympics with this pandemic has been a bit tough, because last year mostly I didn't have like those people who we trained together, because at some point we were told not to train with a group.
The 2014 Commonwealth Games champion targets to qualify for the finals at the Tokyo Games, a race she terms as a tactical game and commits to handle each race at a time. The 33-year-old said the Tokyo Olympics will be open with notable names like defending champion Caster Semenya missing out on the field.
To talk about gold, it's something a big bit for me, so I think my target for me is actually maybe to qualify for the next round, because an 800 is a tactical event.
Some will fly Kenyan flag in the 800 meters with compatriots Mary Mora and Emily Tuwei.
However, the 34-year-old posted on Twitter that he would be proudly joining Team Serbia for the games in 8 days' time. Djokovic said after retaining his Wimbledon crown that he was undecided about appearing at the Tokyo Games after it was announced that fans would be allowed to attend because of a spike in corona infections. The world #1 lifted his third title of the year at All England Club a week ago and is now on course to try to complete tennis Golden Slam. He needs to win gold at the Tokyo Olympics and take the US Open singles title in September to become the first male player to achieve the feat. Germany's Steffi Graf is the only player to accomplish a Golden Slam, which she achieved in 1988. Earlier this week, British #1s Johanna Konta and Danny Evans withdrew from the games because of positive COVID-19 tests, while Swiss legend Roger Ferrell and 3-time Grand Slam winner Keber have also pulled out. The tennis tournament at the Olympic Games get underway 24th July. Daniel Mwendwa, Sports.
Well, that's it for sports tonight, but just two quick updates. First of all, after the last shot is made or missed in this year's NBA playoff finals, Spalding will no longer be the official NBA ball moving forward. That ends a relationship of a couple of years, really, starting up from 1983. And two, Socios.com will become the new kit sponsor for Italian champions Inter Milan. That is after, of course, tire manufacturer, that is Pirelli, of course, the deal not being renewed after 26 years. Well, for all the stories that we had for you tonight and more sports updates, visit our official YouTube channel, that is KBC Sports. Well, that's it from me. Have a good night. Don't go too far. Shiksha and Fred will be back shortly.
Easy Friday, and this is Nameless. I'll be your host or your anchor for the night.
You forgot to do that. You see, when you do that, it gives that emphasis.
There's kind of respect to get.
Yes, yes.
I know, man. I'm just realizing myself. All this hype you guys have for the night. Well, it's a Friday night. Everything's all right. Yo, man.
How do you feel?
Feels good to be here.
We
You
should
feel
have
like
made
this every Friday?
We should have made you read a story.
This is how easy Fridays are. I know, yeah? In fact, I was wondering, just give me